written for one performer and two voices. Which is a bit weird. Okay, so let's go. So verify just that I'm on the good network, the Magic Lab network. So what we can do now is to first start the UI application. Just convert to UI. Yeah, there's no part of it. Full UI backslash. So as I said, you see that actually for time reasons, we rewrote the max UI because it's easier, but it doesn't matter. That's the idea. So now the UI is started, and now what can we do? Because this is like a summary of what we will show to you today. Now what can we do? Just start the front end in the background. You see that the front end is starting. No, it's just very fast. And the first thing that you see is that actually the little green lights started, which means that with OSC you can develop some kind of awareness behavior. So if you have the front end and the server, you can just say, okay, if one of both is just not working, you can advertise the other. So just for the little funny aspect, the namespace for this awareness behavior is that one is just asking, oh, how are you, and the other one is telling, I'm fine. So it's just like, you can set the namespace as you want, so this is kind of basic question. So here, okay, things are connected together. So that now what we will do is actually to connect the cyber. So I have here a cyber glove, which is a multi-sensor hand tracking, where you can just add all the aspects of the hand which are tracked. And it's a Bluetooth version, so you just actually start the module and it's synchronized with the computer. So we just started. And Cam will select the correct serial port on the which is the first one, yeah. And then connect. And normally it's open. Normally you will. So you see that actually again you're connecting to the front end, but everything is really happening on the server side. So each time you click on something you communicate, and it's all the way through messages, so actually you can write this to anything which you want. So this one is working, that's fine. You have to run it. We'll do the same with the Polymus now, so then we'll select the first element. So it's all serial port communication here.
Which one is it?
The first. Yeah, it's working. So basically now, if you remember the architecture, we just started with two gesture control components, and they start to update their own state. Basically, that's all what they do, and they don't really care about what we will do with the states. To be really cautious with this glove, because I don't hurt enough money. So I'm trying not to struggle my power. So yeah, that's a really expensive technology because all the sensors are really precise and you don't need so much of the calibration, which is a big issue with controllers. You always need a lot of calibration. Here they are arguing that you don't need so much of the calibration step, which is not really true, but it's better than the rest. So I have all my step here. So this is updating a state, this is updating a state. Now what we will do is actually start what I called in the graph the mapper. So the mapper is this component that takes the digital data and transform them into some synthesis parameters. Again, without really knowing for what purpose, you just do it. So you see that you started it? Okay. So what's the Diva mapper is doing actually? It's just exciting a neural network, basically, what you call the RBF network, radial basis function. So we train the neural network with a database of gestures, to actually recognize a set of precise gestures, which is the language that we use for creating the sound. So you see that if I'm actually, and if you remember about Marguerite's video, that's what she was doing. She was actually moving hands to create a kind of symbolic language. So if you see that actually I can do this, and it recognizes it as the, I don't know, like the seventh gesture. If I'm doing this one, it recognizes it as the second one. If I'm doing this, I'm not really good at it. Yeah. The first one. Another one, maybe this one. Yeah. This one. So it's basically, and you have an array of probabilities depending on what you are doing. It's just saying, okay, it's probably more this one, probably more this one. So it's a continuous mapping. It's not like 1 or 0. You can have, if I do something like in between, it's not really easy to do something in between. Yeah. Here I can have multiple things that go high, like this one, because it's like an in-between gesture. So it's pretty interesting as a mapping layer because it's like a really continuous space that you can then map to synthesis parameters, and that's what we have done. So this is all mapped through what we call the voil map component to formant-based synthesizer. So what you see moving here are actually the formant of the voice synthesizer, and now Cam will just activate the audio to show you the result on the sound point. Oh yeah, I didn't tell actually, the tracker is doing the same on another scale. So this is actually changing the consonants, and this is actually switching between the different vowels. Space, I actually do the same kind of statistical guess, but on the vowel space. And if I'm doing here, I'm not really good at it. Yeah, you see, I'm actually interpolating between consonants, so it's I can have I have my vowel. I have other kind of sound that. I mean, I'm not the trained person for this instrument, so I can just try to show you some things. But basically, yeah, you see here, this one is quite good. Yes, I'm a bit nervous also. Okay, and then so if you start to combine these two things, so basically on the instrument that Margaret is using, both things are stuck together here. So she can really like say, okay, I'm doing Earl, and then I'm going here for the A, or here. And she can start to build a language, like a vocal language from this string. So it's a kind of complex instrument to learn because you have a lot of different degrees of freedom. But that's the basis of what the Diva is to really talk with your hand. Okay, so that's working. I'm happy about it. You can really stop the audio. So I think I can remove the glove right now. Yeah, I think so. No, I will keep it. So this is, yeah, I have a list of things. This is basically, if you are already aware of what the Diva is, you will say, this is basically what I've already seen, because it's the same kind of shape, like it's, you start controllers, you start like the mapping and the synthesis. But now what we will show you is that behind this there is a whole new design, so you can actually start first to split the components, to, I would say, sneak yourself inside the namespace and start to play with this and actually change the behavior without, ideally, the first step, without even recompiling the software, that's the first step, and ideally without even restarting the software, which is also a good thing to search for new things. You don't even have to restart anything. So what Jonty will do right now is that we will go back to the process of stopping the audio, so it's done, stopping the mapper, and stopping the cyber glove. And simply, Jonty will just go back to the reconnection of everything from an iPhone application. He has developed a small iPhone application with a few buttons that are actually really doing all this step of connecting the device. So now what we will show you is that you can just reconnect the device from the entire device. Oh, the glove is reconnecting. We'll just restart the mapper. Yeah. And restart the audio. And I'm back. No, I'm not really back. What did you do? Oh, I don't know. Yeah.